Hello everyone, welcome back to Govt Drish, and today is Lucent series part 37. We have already covered a lot of parts of the medieval history, Asian history and modern history, and now here we are in the previous video we have covered the different pacts like Delhi Pact or Simon Commission or many such important dynamics of the Indian history as well as world history. So let's get started with the communal award or the McDonald Award in today's topic. If you want to grab more details, keep watching us and do not forget to like, share and subscribe so that you get such daily knowledge series which is useful for your UPSC, BPSC, SSC, NET, CGL exams. So let's get started with the communal award. So when Gandhi was arrested while he was returning from London, and after the second round table conference, that time there was a British Prime Minister whose name was Ramsay MacDonald. So what he did that he announced that an award will be given on communal representation, and this was the date. Okay, remember that date. Now he thought that there is different representation for Muslims, Sikhs and other religions, but there should also be a representation of a depressed classes also, like Dalits we have, or backward classes we have, so there should be communal representation of them as well. So this made Gandhi very upset. Like, he then underwent a fast. He protested that this was just a tactics of the British government to divide India on a communal basis, to bring hatred in everyone's heart. So he went on to fast. Then other political Indians were also there who were sure that this was just a political stunt, to shaken up the country emotionally as well. So from whole India there were mass meetings. There were different political leaders like Ambedkar, we have Malviya, we have MC Raja. They all came forward, they became active and they protested against it. So then finally they could hammer out this agreement. They could finally protest safely and soundly, and that was known as the Poona Pact. Now let's know the Poona Pact in detail. So these were the leaders, the oppressed class, date. So this is important about this. What we say para, let's move. Now, as you know, that communal award, it was very much communaling thing. Like, it was providing this satisfaction among the Hindus. So he went on fast, Gandhiji, and then finally the award was taken back, and then there was a pact signed. Now what was this pact? That idea was there that okay, separate electorate will be given to the repressed classes as well, like it is given to the different religions. This was totally abandoned. But what he did, like, there was okay, you will won't be given a different electorate, but seats will be reserved for the depressed classes. So this was the pact. And then what happened, first it was 71, and then from 71 to 147 seats were reserved for the depressed class, and which amounts to 18% of the total seats. So this is important here. Then when the fast and Poona Pact was signed, and who were the leaders there? There were B.R. Ambedkar on the behalf of the Harijans. Okay, B.R. Ambedkar was on behalf of the Harijans, not Hindu. They signed the pact, and thus there was this caste communal award reputed. Now, third round table conference. Let's know about what happened during it. Okay, it was held in 1932, but it was also fruitless because all the national leaders who were supposed to attend that were in prison, so no one could attend that. Then Government of India at 1935. This is very important. Okay. So what happened is that Simon Commission had submitted a report. They came in 1930 and then submitted a report, and this was the the basis, like the root of the Government of India Act. This act received the royal assent on this date. This is important. and this act continued, and it had features, very much constitutional reforms, you can see. And there were some new principles added as well, like there was a federal type of government, like state central, the relationship between the central and state, or the division of power. This is the federal nature. And this there was a provincial autonomy, like freedom, and hierarchy in provinces. Okay, and ministers were responsible to the legislative and federation at the centers. Okay, collectively responsible they were made. And it was condemned by all sections of Indian public opinion, and it was, people were rejecting it. Even Congress rejected it, this Government of India Act. And then they thought of that, okay, so we ourselves will elect the Constituent Assembly, and we will provide our own Government of India Act. We will make a constitution for independent India. So then they started the making of the Constituent Assembly. But even Congress had opposed this act. Still they took part in the elections that was introduced on April 1, 1937, and with it they formed ministries, like then first in 6 provinces, then in another 2. This by this, slowly and slowly, all the provinces were gathered upon. Now the Muslim League, they were not happy, like although they wanted a separate rule, that was in the notion, and they were not happy with the Congress rule. So Mr. Jinnah, what he described is that Congress was overpowered with all the powers they had, and they were oppressive against the Muslims. So this was his dialogue. Now Congress ministers resigned. 1939, a big turnover in the Indian history. Second World War, it had broke out in Europe in 1939. We all know Second World War, it's already broke. Then Britain was also included in that. Then what happened is that the Viceroy, they didn't even take consultation of the Indian leaders, and they said that India also is a belligerent country, like we were also under the World War. But this was criticized in a huge way, like Indians were criticizing it. And even the Congress said that we would not associate in a war that has nothing to do with the Indian government, like it was a British headache, not an Indian headache. And so they also that they were denied freedom. They were no one to participate in the World War, but they were just here to ask for freedom. So Congress demanded that India should be declared independent nation, and then they will help Britain in the war. So the Viceroy rejected this plea that okay, that we won't give you independence. So then Congress also took aback that okay, they also condemned the Viceroy's reply, and all the ministers, that is Congress ministers who were elected in the elections in 1937, they all resigned on December 22 on 1939. Jinnah, he was happy because he wanted like a separate electorate. He was not happy with the Congress rule. So then all the Indian Muslims, they came together and celebrated the resigning day of Congress ministries as the day of deliverance. Okay, now let's know about the Pakistan resolution or Lahore resolution. That was March 24, 1914. So in 1930, Iqbal, he had suggested that frontier province, then Balochistan and Kashmir, they all to be announced as Muslim state within the federations. Okay, so this was a new idea, but this was a vigorous idea as well a communal idea also. Then we had Chaudhry Ahmad Ali, was an idealist. He also had gave this idea at Cambridge, and they had inspired all the Muslims there, especially the young Muslims, and they had invented the term Pakistan, but after Pakistan. In 1935, he was the one who had invented this. So get to know of that. Then okay, his ideas were good, like a separate nation, better ruling with the new name. But after 7 years, it was a political program that Jinnah was taking forward. Okay, the ideology of Iqbal. Okay, so this was a political program which was taken up. This was a political move by Jinnah, and they had even turned into a political conspiracy. Then ideology of Iqbal, the vision of Rahmat Ali, and the prayer of Muslims. Thus, they were united, and this had helped Jinnah to build the Muslims together and fight against the British as well as the Congress for a separate electorate, that is the creation of Pakistan. So this was an important landmark in the context out session of the Muslim League. It was held on March 1940 and it passed the Pakistan resolution, and they rejected the federal scheme that was in Government of India Act. Now, August offer or Lithinglow offer. Who was it? Lithinglow, he had came out with certain proposals that was known as August offer. They declared that British government just wanted to establish a dominant status in India. They had nothing other such. So they accepted that okay, there will be a new constitution and it will be the responsibility of the Indians only for the building up of the constitution. British government won't do any of that. So then it also made that minorities should also be taken into consideration. Then Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, president of the Congress, he had rejected the August offer because it was just a plea of the Britishers to take India into the World War and help out. So he had rejected it. The Muslim League welcomed this offer, and he had also ensured that no further constitution would be adopted without the prior approval of Muslims. So this was just a card played by Muslim League. Now that they declared that the only solution to this problem was the partition of India into India and Pakistan. They gave this proposal. So August offer failed in gaining India's cooperation for war, and this was the one that had further engulfed, like India and Pakistan के बीच में जितना भी था problem इससे और बढ़ गया. Like Congress and the Muslim League, they grew more venomous. So this was all about the communal war. This is something which is new. Like all of this have not been studied in detail in our previous classes, like when we were in school and all. But this is something new which is very unique. So I've marked out all the important points. Go check them out, and do not forget to like, share and subscribe our channel so that we can come up with more such important updates regarding the competitive exams for you. Take care. See you.